Hello my friends, Loco here. We're going to do a recap on TL versus CLG. This game's really interesting because CLG is on the rise ever since they included Povelter, and they also have Wind subbing in for Stixay. Wind is one of the LS Academy players. He's been in Barbecue. He's a Korean player. Whenever we get a Korean player, normally it's very strong mechanics, very little communication, so let's see what he's like. And also for TL, we have Tactical subbing in for Doublelift, continuing on from last week. Last week was Doublelift being sick. But this week, Doublelift isn't sick anymore, and it is a strategical decision to play Tactical over Double due to attitude and motivation problems. So yeah, a lot of interesting storylines at play. Let's see how the game went, and as always, let's start with the draft. Team Liquid leading with Rumbleband. It's been Ruin's best champion, and yeah, TL plays a lot of teamfight comps with immobile AD carries and immobile control mages, so Rumbleband makes a lot of sense. The Senna ban, a little bit questionable. This team still doesn't play Senna after 7 weeks of LCS. And the Yuumi ban, it seems like they don't play Yuumi either, so banning out those champions. CoreJJ is one of their stronger players, so I kind of understand why they don't want to play Yuumi, but the Senna thing, they should just really pick up Senna. As for CLG, the set ban is pretty typical. Impact has shown to be a really good set player, and yeah, set first pick is one of the most popular, so I understand the ban. It was a little bit weird seeing them ban Elise. They do have a reason for not banning Ornn. It has a lot to do with what they picked into it, but I still think there's better things they can ban other than the Elise. And the Mordekaiser ban, also a little bit weird, but I do think it is because of the Janna pick also. So let's talk about the picks. TL going with Ornn first pick, very obvious. CLG left it open. They should be extremely suspicious. Why would they leave Ornn open? This is one of the most broken champions in the meta. And CLG replying with the Janna counter pick. So the Janna into Ornn is really interesting. How it works is Janna goes support item as normal, and she's able to get gold pretty easily by farming off the Ornn, by poking him, by winning the lane, and scaling is actually not that bad for Janna comparatively to the Ornn. It might be a little counterintuitive. Why would a support scale as well as Ornn, who can give masterwork items, who's a frontline, who can engage, who has a lot of damage? Well, Janna has a lot of denial tools. Janna and supports in general, whenever they get these support items and they're able to stack it up, they heal massively. Like Janna ult in teamfights will heal so much whenever she has 3 items that give her bonus healing. And also the shielding is really nice. She just scales so much in terms of utility where it can actually match the Ornn scaling, and you get priority on the Ornn, so there's a lot of good things about it. And Janna has really cute things she can do versus the Ornn. She can use her ult to cancel Ornn E, she can use the ult to cancel the Ornn second part of ult. There's just a lot of interesting interactions between the Janna and the Ornn where the counter pick actually is a thing. They also get Affilios as a bonus because they are trading one OP for another OP while still getting a counter into the original OP that they traded for. Yeah, so a lot of ways that the Janna pick makes sense. TL replying with Misfortune Braum. I think Braum pick is a little bit of a denial. Braum plus Affilios is a really strong duo. And also Braum is a good champion to pick into Ornn in general. So this is more of a, we don't want you to have Braum more so than, oh man, Braum is so good with our comp, we want Braum. Now, when we get to the second rotation of draft, one thing that really stands out to me is the Victor Lee Sin pick. They're taken together and they make sense as a duo. It might seem counterintuitive, since Victor is so weak early and Lee Sin wants to play for a lot of 2v2s. I'm not saying this is good, but I'm saying they make sense because, yeah, Victor needs help. Victor is a very resource-heavy champion. Until he can upgrade his Hextech core, he's not very strong. So he's just sitting in lane. He can't really roam around much. He can't help you at the scuttle fight. So he needs to be able to get through early game. Lee Sin is a really strong early game champion, so he can help Victor get through the early game. Here's the problem though, once they get through the early game and Victor is strong, they don't really make sense as a duo, and Lee into Janna is really troll, Lee into Syndra can be really troll, Lee into Thresh can be really troll. So yeah, the Lee Sin's only good thing is he's able to help Victor get through early game, and maybe he can insect someone later. One other thing I would have really liked to see from Team Liquid is maybe not take Victor, something that's so incredibly weak early game, and go something like Orianna, a pick that Jensen is very comfortable on and doesn't have really bad early game, and pair it with something like Trundle. I actually think Trundle would have worked beautifully for Team Liquid. Trundle into all these immobile squishy champions would have done wonders. Pillar is a really good engage tool that's very non-committal, and every time the Trundle pillars and there's potential follow-up, the Janna has to flash, Affilios has to flash, so does the Thresh and the Syndra. The only real escape they have is a Lantern. So yeah, I think TL's draft would have turned out so much better with Trundle Orianna instead of this Victor Lee Sin. And it's also things that Jensen and Broxah should have been able to play. I think a lot of times when analysts criticize draft for teams, they mention champions that aren't really in the player's pool or the team has played before. But I think Ori Trundle is very much in Broxah and Jensen's pool, and they could easily pull it out. And CLG finished off their draft with Trundle instead of Team Liquid getting it. Trundle's just a nice pick into Ornn. And also the Victor and MF are immobile, so they can do the same thing that I talked about from TL's end. Anytime the pillar comes up, Victor and MF have to be very careful of the hook follow-up, of the Aphelios Graviton follow-up, Thresh hook, Janna knockup, just a lot of dangerous things that can happen to the immobile carries. Now let's talk about the team comps overall. Both comps are actually very one-dimensional in terms of they just want a team fight. They have very, very strong backline, Syndra, Aphelios, Misfortune, Victor, so it's going to be a lot about the setup, and there isn't that much flank potential. The only champions that can really flank, I would say, are Lee and Syndra. No one else that can be coming in from an angle and really do their job. Maybe Victor can because he has so much AoE damage and if he's able to get to the squishy. But yeah, both teams are very honest in terms of how they want to fight. It's going to be tanks up front, carries in the back, maybe a little bit of flank from Syndra or Victor if they can manage. But other than that, this is a standard team fight comp for both teams. Now that we talked extensively about draft, let's get on with the gameplay. Remember what we said regarding the Ornn versus the Janna? It's a counter pick for the Janna, and she wants to lane versus the Ornn. TL recognizes that also, and they send the Victor versus the Janna instead in the Ornn mid lane. So yeah, they're actually able to dodge the matchup. A lot better for them. Now, Syndra's able to get priority on the Ornn, and she's going to move bot side for a dive. Tactical actually ended up burning his heal and flash into level 1, so it's going to be really dangerous. They also had to leash for Broxah, so they're behind in prio, and it's going to be a 4v2 dive. Really look at what happened here. Now, this is the problem. Wind started this dive before anyone else, and he's a squishy Aphelios, so he's going to be taking turret aggro. I think he did this because he kind of panicked because Ornn started to TP in. The dive should really start with the Thresh tanking the aggro with either a hook or a flay, because he doesn't need to be in turret aggro for a long time. It doesn't really matter. He just wants to do his CC, tank the shots, and leave. But for the Aphelios, he wants to stay there the whole time and do a lot of damage, so him starting the dive is actually the worst case possible. And also this is starting before Pobelter is able to help with the dive, so a lot of bad things. Just wait till the Syndra's there. It's okay if the Ornn ports in. He's still level 2, he's not going to have all 3 spells. The MF and Braum are level 1. MF doesn't have any kind of stuns. I actually think this dive was really, really doable from CLG if Aphelios just waited until Syndra was closer and let the Thresh start the dive. So yeah, Aphelios tanking, he didn't use heal. He might have still died even while using heal, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. But I think if CLG was a little bit more patient, they could have gotten a 1-for-0 or a 2-for-1 trade. So after that initial dive, TL's wave is pushing away from them, and they still don't have summoners, and they didn't have jungle on their side, so it got worse and worse. We're going to be able to see exactly what happened through the replay. Yeah, you can see the wave stuck, Broxah is nowhere near, and now they can just go on TL. Smoothie starting with flash hook, able to land it on the Misfortune, and yeah, there's no chance for tactical. A lot of people talked about what if Braum blocked the hook. Maybe Braum blocks the hook and he has a better chance of surviving because he has the flash and he's tankier. But even then, even if it's Braum that dies and Misfortune lives, it's not a good situation. The wave is still frozen. She can't get XP, she can't get gold. It really does not change much, even if Braum blocked the hook and he's the one dying instead. Here we have Broxah and Impact playing for mid lane 2v2. Broxah looking for the insect on Ruin. It's going to be really hard though. Janna has so much denial tools. She has her tornado, she has her ult, she has her flash up. Yeah, it's near impossible to land it. Broxah went in for WR flash there. Not going to quite get it. And going to be on the run. Wiggly chasing him down. Impact trying his best to save him. Pobelter ended up TPing here. Ruin flash Wing. And yeah, Pobelter actually able to deny Impact from ulting by stunning him at the right time. And Broxah ends up dying also. Smoothie also up here. This is going to lead nicely into a Herald. I just don't think there's any reason for Broxah to look for that play on the Janna. It's a freaking Janna. She's almost immune to Lee Sin Insect. You should know better. So we have Cloud Drake coming up. Both teams are setting up for it. But for TL, this fight is over before it even starts. Their positioning is just terrible here. We have Core JJ Tactical Broxah on the bottom side of the map and they're approaching when Jensen and Impact are on the left side. I just have no idea. And now you have Jensen grouping up with the bot side, but Impact's on the other side, so they're still split. So Smoothie opens on Core JJ. He's gonna die without even getting to use ult. And it's just really hard for TL to approach this when they're so split. I just don't understand why they were so willing to take this fight when they should have realized, hey, we're late to Dragon. We're gonna be split on bot side and mid side. We should just be pushing out lanes and giving this up. Because they approached it, they actually end up giving up Dragon for free, and Core JJ ends up dying by burning Flash also. No idea why they did this. So due to the constant lane swapping, Ruin's actually down 2 levels on impact, but he's able to cancel Ornn's second proc up ult with his own ult. And we're gonna have Wiggly come in, they're gonna look for the kill on impact, he used all his spells. Now CLG is forced to run when Jensen is actually teleporting topside, forcing them to back away. But even then, this is completely fine for CLG. They're down 2 levels on topside, but they're actually coming up ahead in resource. They're gonna get a little bit greedy here. This Q was really dangerous. If Ruin got hit, he would have been forced to burn his flash because he used his own tornado already, so he doesn't have a lot of ways to deny the insect from Lee. So very similar position from last time, but Jensen doesn't have TP and Impact doesn't have ult. So this time there's not going to be a lot of ways that Impact can live, and it's going to be a free kill for CLG. You can see that the Inferno Drake is up and both teams want to play for it. TL especially doesn't want to give up another dragon to CLG where they can start threatening Soul. You can see top and jungle coming in for TL. Core looking for an angle on Wind, nice sidestep from him, and a beautiful hook and flay from Smoothie. Here's the problem though. Wind has the Braum passive stacks on him, so he's in a really dangerous spot, and he also doesn't flash the Braum ult, so he's going to get chain CC'd here. If he's actually able to flash and dodge the CC chain, the CLG has a lot of people coming in from different angle. You can see the Syndra teleporting, you can see Trundle on top side. They're gonna be able to turn the situation really nicely. But this mechanical mishap means the AD is gonna get chain CC'd and not able to do much before dying. So yeah, the situation could have turned out way better for CLG. Exactly what I said, the knock up into stun, he gets insta-gip. Pobelter coming in with nice damage on tactical, able to kill him with the auto proccing the electrocute. And Wiggly off to the side was able to tank a lot of damage from TL and distract Jensen and Impact. So overall, winning situation for CLG, but it just could have gone much better if Aphelios was able to flash the Braum knockup and not get one shot. So CLG and TL are still playing for that same Inferno Drake, and you can see CLG quite out of position. They have 4 people in mid lane, and the Aphelios is still bot side. He's not going to be able to join the fight unless he walks all the way around. So I just have no idea what CLG wants to do here. This Aphelios angle will not work for them. He's not going to be able to do damage. He's not going to be able to be a threat. He's just off to the side doing nothing. He goes for a grab and an ult here and he's able to ult 3 targets, but there isn't going to be a lot of follow-up. And yeah, he just wasn't able to do anything this fight. This is why it's so important that you stay grouped as a team. And if you're going to be out of position, you have to give up the objective and just continue pushing on. I mean, CLG used Herald. They could have just gone down mid lane, made sure they picked up the farm, make sure the waves were pushed out. But instead, they just try to approach the fight in a split position. And they're going to end up giving Dragon for free. And also Pobelter's going to end up dying too. Both teams grouped up on mid lane, trying to fight for priority. We have Dragon coming up in 40. Core JJ a little bit far ahead, starting with Trundle Pillar, gets flayed out of his W, has to flash, gets stunned, and then the grab and ult follow up. Just so much catch from CLG landing on Core JJ. And yeah, this is why Trundle's so powerful. You're able to engage on people without being committed, and you're forcing flashes and escape spells without, just being committed. So we have Syndra in bot lane, and rest of CLG group near Baron. They see TL walk through mid lane, and they're gonna try to engage on Core JJ like last time. Just incredibly dumb for them to do. They end up burning 2 stopwatches, and Wind is gonna be forced to flash. Just don't take fights when you're 4v5. This should be a really simple concept. I have no idea why CLG wanted to take the fight here. So we're at a really crucial point in the game. It's sole point for CLG. They already have 3 dragons, and Team Liquid's hitting really big item power spikes thanks to the Ornn. He has 2 Masterwork items on him already, and he's upgraded Infinity Edge for Misfortune. And it's really crucial for Jensen, the item build he went, because it pairs really nicely with the Ornn. Normally, you would go triple Hextech upgrade, and then you get a Lichbane or Ludens, but he opted into the Death Cap instead because the Death Cap is one of the strongest items for Ornn to upgrade. And I love what CLG does here. Team Liquid's able to get control of Dragon side, so instead of walking into them, they start Baron, forcing Team Liquid to walk into them instead. Really nice macro play from CLG right here. Now Impact, he's the most tankiest, he's going to be the one checking in, buying time with Stopwatch. And look at Ruin here, he's going to make a really big mistake. He walks up to use W on Impact as Janna, and as Janna, you have such long effective range. Your Tornado can hit from so far away, your shield is pretty long distance. You don't really need to be proactive and try to close distance on people. But I don't think he's just too experienced on Janna, especially in team fights, and he ends up making the mistake of getting too close, and he's going to get zapped by Victor using the ER combo. Now, the really bad thing here is he also has vision on Victor due to the ward and the brush, so he pretty much has no excuse to walk up this close, and this is going to lose CLG the entire fight pretty much by Ruin himself. Pobelter's the really fed one here. He has Liandry's, Ludens, and Voice Staff complete. He's the one that's going to be doing a lot of damage. What CLG wants is getting multiple damage rotation with Pobelter, but instead of that, they're going to get this really crappy situation where the Janna goes in and it's going to lose the fight, and yeah, they're just going to have to be on the run. Look at how much damage Ruin and Wiggly took, and they're going to be on the run or using the ult, and Victor ult finishing off Wiggly. Now CLG in a really crappy situation. With Trundle dead, they can't contest Baron at all, and they're going to have to be on the run. And Team Liquid recognizes that, and they're going to start Baron. But there is a silver lining for CLG. Inferno's still up on the map, and if they can get to it and sneak it before Team Liquid's able to come to them, they're going to be able to get Inferno Soul. And a lot of time trading Baron for Dragon Soul, especially when it's something like Inferno Soul, Cloud is kind of meh. Mountain Soul in certain situations, especially when you have tank. Ocean Soul for sure is a lot better than Baron due to Inferno Soul and all these Dragon Souls last forever, while Baron's a temporary buff. As long as the game doesn't end or you lose multiple inhibitors off the Baron, this kind of trade is completely fine. We have Elder Drake coming up in about 15 seconds, and it's really crucial that TL checks in properly. CLG has full control. And one thing I really have to criticize Impact for is not getting Merc Trez. It's 36 minutes into the game. You're going to be the tank that's checking in. Why the hell do you still have level 1 boots? It's just mind-blowing. Anyways, Impact checks in and he's going to get chunked. And I really dislike what he does here. He takes all the damage and he ends up flash and eating out while he has his Stoneplate Gargoyle active and he has about 4k HP. I understand that his resistance got shredded by Wiggly, but this is a situation where CLG used almost all their cooldowns on Impact. And when the champions are cooldown less, this is the time your team wants to fight and really abuse the enemy team for using all their spells on Impact. CoreJJ has Flash Ult, Victor still has Flash Ult, and you can see how grouped up the CLG members are. The fact that Team Liquid's retreating here just gives CLG complete control. Why did Impact check in if you weren't going to take the fight when CLG used all their spells? It's just so puzzling what these teams are thinking in this kind of high pressure situation. Now CLG pushed them out. They're going to be able to heal themselves back up using Redemption. And you can see Pobelter chunking and zoning out rest of Team Liquid by himself. Elder going down really quickly. It's a Aphelios with a Chakram. Ornold landing on Smoothie. Going to get Instagip. The same thing for Ruin. Really need to watch his positioning. And Wiggly's able to win the 50-50 and secure Elder Drake. Now Wind on the other side actually just gets melted by Tactical. And yeah, not the greatest situation for CLG. They lost 3 members and TL only lost 1. But considering how the fight started, I think it should have gone a lot worse for Team Liquid. Now Baron's also up, really crucial. Tactical going for red. I mean, he's a misfortune, gonna melt it in 3 hits. But Wiggly has Flash and Smite. Now TL has to be really careful. If Trundle comes here and he just flashes over and takes it, it's gone. Ooh, and also Impact used his own Smite because he was really low. He used Smite to heal himself, and yeah, now this Baron won't be possible. Really good deny from Wiggly and really good game sense to make sure he stays on the map instead of recalling when Baron's still up. Yeah, let's look at the fight again. This is the later half of the fight after TL got chunked out. Ulting on Smoothie. He's just gonna get one shot. Look at Ruin. I don't know what he's doing here. He's channeling Janna ult, top of Misfortune ult, and he just gets melted. Oh my god. I just don't think he's very experienced on Janna. He might know how to play lane, but it seems like he has no idea how to play the team fights. Win trying to fight in tactical. Tactical actually just melting him. Oh well, that's just how it happens. So we're going to get another Baron dance, and this time it's going to be CLG in control and TL are going to be the ones checking in. Broxah going above the Baron pit, getting a war. Tactical going above the Baron pit also, looking for a good MF ult. I really dislike what Team Liquid is doing here. I think Broxah, instead of stalling, instead of waiting, looking for that Baron steal, I think that's what he's really focused on, should be going all the way around and looking for a kick on rest of CLG. And Tactical should be grouped up with Impact, CoreJJ, and Jensen and looking for a pincer play where Ornn can open with his ult, Braun can open with his ult. I mean, even Jensen can open with RW combo, and they're going to be in a situation where they're flanking CLG for both angles, and CLG's on top of Baron, so yeah, there's going to be so many things that CLG has to deal with. And especially for champions like Syndra and Janna, their kind of push away skill, like Janna's Q, Syndra's QE, are directional. So when you shoot at one direction, you're leaving yourself completely vulnerable towards the other direction. So just by having Lisa in flank, they could put a lot of pressure on CLG, but instead they're so focused on looking for this 50-50 and Tactical so focused looking for a good MF ult angle, they completely forget, hey, if we flank CLG here, they're absolutely screwed. So yeah, I think just a lot of one-dimensional approach from Team Liquid where it could have been much smarter and much more heavily pressuring CLG if they just thought about what happens when Lee Sin flanks a team like this. Yep, just staying still over there looking for that Baron 50-50. He's not considering the flank at all. Wiggly's gonna win the 50-50. Let's see how the rest of the fight goes. Wiggly forgets how much damage Victor does and is gonna need to flash out. But yeah, it doesn't need to come down to this 50-50. Team Liquid, if you think a little bit further ahead and think about the flank, this fight could have been yours. So we're going to get an NA Classic, 5v5 ARM, let's group up, look for the engage, look for good chunks. You can see how much Jensen Laser is able to do on Pobelter. The fight going to start on Wiggly, but luckily for him, he was able to get his ult off, so he's really tanky. And now that TL's used all their spells, there's an opportunity for CLG and they go in here. So the really weird thing for me is Pobelter went in with Flash and stunned multiple people, and you can see that Impact still doesn't have Mercs complete, so he's still stunned, while Braum broke out of the stun due to tenacity and is going to be running away. If they were more synced, Smoothie would have loaded up his hook as CLG was engaging on them, and this would be a pick, but their coordination is quite strange. We have Aphelios flash ulting, Smoothie still holding hook, and let's see how the fight plays out. Yeah, Impact's able to flash out, and Smoothie does flash hook later on, and he's able to burn flash on both Jensen and CoreJJ, but I think that's more hindsight analysis to think that this was planned. I think their plan was Pobelter goes in for a stun, and people follow up, and the follow-up just wasn't there, and they got lucky, and they were able to burn flashes on Team Liquid. Alright, let's see how this Baron 50-50 goes. Wiggly winning the 50-50. Broxah was just a little too late. And gonna pick up the free kill in the process. Man, this game's turning into a shit show. In case 3 objective fights weren't enough for you, we're gonna get one more. Once again, CLG in control of Baron side and TL gonna be the ones checking in. One thing that I can notice is Broxah and Tactical immediately go above the Baron pit. I think they practice this situation a lot, and their go-to is Broxah look for the steal, Tactical look for the bullet time angle from above the hill. I wish they thought of things in a more flexible way and they didn't always default into it. And CLG ending up with the Baron, Wiggly was able to win the Smite fight. My god, these games have just come down to who wins the Smite fight. There's been so many 50-50s and CLG came out ahead every single time. They're going to be able to get this inhib. They don't need to press on more if they don't want to. Honestly, they just don't need to press on more. They can go spend the gold and reset and look for the final push. CLG was able to get mid in it, but not end the game. So we're going to get one more fight at Elder, which is coming up in about 10 seconds. Fight starting with Wiggly, Pillar, and CoreJJ and Impact. Impact taking a lot of damage, Core JJ having to come in and block the damage for him. He's going to melt to Syndra. And now look at Aphelios here. Oh my god, fully stacked chakrams, melting Impact. I haven't seen an Ornn melt like that in forever. But Wiggly did die though, so CLG has no smite for this Elder Drake, and they can start it, but the whole point of starting it here is forcing TL to come into them, and they need to turn and look for a fight. They can't finish Elder Drake. TL has Broxah still up with smite, he's just gonna hop over and finish Elder Drake if they get it too low. So they're looking for a re-engage, probably either with the Thresh Hook or the Syndra stun. Able to stun the Misfortune, Smoothie gonna go in. Core JJ blocking, but the Aphelios damage over the wall combined with Syndra stun gonna mean Core JJ is gonna die. Now let's see what they do around Elder. They can still get it low and look for the turn. Smoothie's still alive, can still look for hooks. Elder at about 5k. Maybe they try to finish Elder. Oh my god, that Misfortune damage. Pobelter TP'd in, coming in with Home Guard. Flash QE, oh my god, stunning 3 people, ulting Jensen, and gonna be able to kill Broxah also. Holy, that 1v3. So, really nicely done from Pobelter, but this play isn't gonna be doable on next patch. What he did was Q Flash E, and on the current tournament patch, the patch that the pros are playing on, Syndra will cast the Q as soon as she flashes, but now on the newest patch, Syndra will cast a Q anyways if you're casting it out of max range. It is a really weird interaction, but yeah, Pobelter just abusing the mechanics of the champion and getting that insta-stun and killing 3 people. Really good idea to TP and get behind all 3 of them with the Home Guard buff and just murk them. Nicely done, Pope. Getting revenge on his team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Honestly, this wasn't the most highest quality game. It came down to a lot of fights. But there were standout moments from players, especially from Wiggly, winning all those smite fights. I hope he gets the credit that he deserves. I'm pretty sure most of the credit is going to go to Pobelter for that game-winning play. But yeah, major props, Wiggly. You winning all those smite fights really kept CLG in the game. And I hope I wasn't too flamey. I just wanted to talk about how these fights should be set up. But neither team really set it up that well, especially Team Liquid. They had a lot of ways to look for the flank, which they didn't. I really hated that one play where Ornn checked in, they didn't capitalize at all. And also Ruin, if you're going to play Janna, at least be able to play her properly in team fights. I think it was atrocious team fight Janna play, just walking into Victor, taking damage, or using Janna ult top of the Misfortune ult and getting melted down. But yeah, enough flame. I said my piece. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do a lot of these on stream. Don't forget to check me out at twitch.tv/Locodoco. I've been back to streaming full time. And one last thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Bye.